Well, my next guest, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, there's a lot going on with the government shutdown, and Martha Allen, who's the executive director for Extra Table, a good friend. She's been on my other show many, many, many times. I'm thrilled to have her today as we get an update on what she's doing to sort of ramp things up as food banks across Mississippi could be challenged as a result of the lack of SNAP funding that may be coming in November. Martha, are you there? How you doing?
I'm here. Good morning, Ricky and listeners. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about my passion, which is feeding food insecure Mississippians. Listen,
I literally just got your press release, and I was just reading it during the break. But let's start right off the top, and then we'll go in a little bit deeper about what you guys are doing. But talk about your press release, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so if you don't know what Extra Table is, step one is, what is Extra Table? So we were founded in 2009, so 15 years ago, by Chef Robert St. John, and we are a food bank, not a food pantry. We do not receive government funds, and our mission is to fundraise in order to purchase food. So we say meals matter and dollars make the difference. We want you to give us your $10 and let us purchase 40 meals with that, instead of you going to the grocery store and buying a mix mash of canned goods and dropping it off at the school, and then they're going to haul it to the food pantry. So we fundraise to purchase food that we deliver to 66 food pantries, spending $95,000 every month. And again, we are not government subsidized.
Which is amazing. And by the way, on top of that, Martha, you're 100% of the proceeds that people contribute to Extra Table goes to actually feeding people. Your salary
Correct.
And that of your staff is covered by some other fund. So
That's
this is
exactly
one of the
right.
rare opportunities. Yeah, one of the rare opportunities people have the opportunity to support an effort that's going straight to help people who are hungry, and that's a major selling point, isn't it?
It is. You know, the St. Jude story resonates, and everybody understands that. Like, I like to say, at St. Jude, you don't pay for treatment. I like to say we're like the St. Jude of feeding. So we're a food bank, and we supply food to the food pantries for free.
Well, listen, we saw the announcement from the Mississippi Department of Human Services where they talked about what the federal shutdown was going to do to SNAP benefits. But let's kind of break it down. How's that going to affect Extra Table and your efforts, and more specifically talk about what you're urging people to do?
So we understand that over 350,000 Mississippians will be affected by the SNAP benefits halting. This is not about politics. This is about people, and that's what Extra Table is here for. We're here to feed the people. And so the government shutdown or SNAP benefits, there are 52% of the 1.2 million people in the state of Mississippi are considered something called ALICE, and that's asset limited, income constrained, but employed. So those are our friends and neighbors that do work every day but just can't make ends meet. So 52% of the 1.2 million households just can't put ends together. And so for many of those people, they do receive SNAP benefits, and they also do go to the food pantry, and they're doing all the things they should. But the definition of a food pantry is an emergency supply of food. And some people for a lifetime live in that emergency zone where they depend on that one bag of groceries from the food pantry to get through the rest of the month.
It's incredible. And since you guys are providing food to the food pantries, do you anticipate shortages, and how are you dealing with that?
Yes, our phone is ringing nonstop, both from donors and from individuals calling saying, where can I find food? And, even we had a group from a military base call last week and say, we've never been in this arena. What do we do? And so we're answering a lot of questions, and we're encouraging those that want to help and can support to go to our website to learn more about how we work and to make a gift. And we've also set up an easy text-to-donate line, so you can text FEEDMS, FEEDMS, to 44321 to to donate. And so 100% of those funds will go towards purchasing food. Our goal is to add more to our November deliveries, and if not double our November deliveries that are going out. Our food pantries for some time have been seeing a higher number of people every week or every month at distribution. And with this, they're seeing great demand. And so we have always existed to fill the gaps. And so at the food pantries with the food that they can count on, the constant necessities, the pasta sauce, the peanut butter, the canned tuna, the fruit, the oatmeal, all those, the canned soups, all those quality ingredients that make meals that you and I have in our households. And so we are going to remain mission focused, and we like to say that meals matter and dollars make the difference, and donations fill plates. So your great acts of generosity are what we're looking for in a partner right now.
I think one of the benefits of what you do is you guys try to focus on healthy foods.
Yeah,
and that's a big issue in Mississippi, isn't it?
It is. It's a big issue because we try to kill two birds with one stone, so to say. So while we're feeding people, we want to feed them quality, nutritious food, because we know that one of the most expensive diseases to treat is obesity over a person's lifetime. And so if we can, be a good steward of society by providing quality, nutritious food options, then hopefully we can cut down on some of those other things that impact our state and impact all of our communities, like the cost of obesity.
Martha, I do a segment every single Wednesday. It's called Singing River Health Talk, and I've had the opportunity to talk to doctors literally of all kinds. And what's interesting is I would say at the foundation of a lot of the challenges they face in patients as they do what they do, it's that culturally, maybe people smoke and they shouldn't smoke, or maybe right. I think diet is a big part of the culture of Mississippi, and they get to see, unfortunately, the end result of a lifetime of not really paying attention to eating well. But, most Mississippians aren't in a situation where they can eat well. I think about that every time I pass a service station out in the middle of nowhere in the Mississippi Delta. They're lucky to have those service stations there, even serving food. But typically, you don't get the healthiest foods there. But that's just part of our challenge, isn't it?
It is. In the rural nature of our state, and we are 40% of our state is a food desert. So that means that, when you're trying to get to food, get to a grocery store, there are obstacles in your way. And we are not a state of public transportation, so that adds another level of people having difficulty to get to a grocery store when they need to. And so I think it's important that our food is respectful, too. Our food is not some government label. Our food is not a dented can. Our food offers dignity and respect and hope for a better tomorrow. Our goal is not to make someone feel more shame about standing in a food pantry line. Our goal is to offer them support and help raise them up and break the cycle of hunger, break the cycle of poverty, and really do great work in the state of Mississippi.
And what I'm blown away with when I have leaders and volunteers from food pantries of all kinds here in coastal Mississippi and others from across the state, they share that same value that you just expressed. They're so passionate about what they do. Can you hang around for another segment and let's talk a little bit more?
Sounds great.
Good. This is Martha Allen, who's the executive director for Extra Table, and I'm Ricky Mathews, sitting in for Gerard today on Middays. I'm honored to be here and, coming to you from the Element Well studio. Also, we want to hear from you. So, use that C-Spire text line, 601-879-4395, and don't text and drive. When we come back with Martha from Extra Table, I want to go back to the beginning. She mentioned Robert St. John. If you've not heard the story before, it's an amazing story of commitment to service. And Martha's been part of that journey for an awful long time. We'll talk a little bit about that when we come back. We'll see you after this break. We're visiting with Martha Allen, who's the executive director for Extra Table, a good friend. She's been on my other show a bunch of times because the work that they're doing to provide food to the food pantries across the state of Mississippi is so important. Martha, I appreciate you staying another segment with me. But, you think about Robert St. John and his commitment. It's unbelievable that, he stayed the course, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I think, we all know of Robert as a creative, culinary businessman, all the things. But the day that he created Extra Table, I truly believe was a stroke of genius because the way we do it, how we do it, why we do it the way we do, it's different than anywhere else. We're the only non-government subsidized food bank that we know of anywhere, period, not just in the state of Mississippi. And, our mission says we fundraise because we use our buying power to go direct to manufacturers, to go to companies and distributors and say, we want to purchase a truckload of peanut butter, a truckload of pasta, and then we bring all that into our warehouse. Therefore, we are able to get to our pantry partners every month, 200 to 300 peanut butter, 200 to 300 canned tuna, 200 to 300 canned fruit. And we spend around $1,400 wholesale, below wholesale cost, for each of our food pantries each month, delivered to their doorstep for free.
It's amazing. The way I would talk about Robert, I had the opportunity to meet and get to know him on the governor's commission after Katrina. And the way I would refer to him is kind of almost a Renaissance man. He's an entrepreneur. He's a restaurateur, a chef, a writer. He's an author, a producer. He's a travel host. He loves Europe. He especially loves Tuscany region of region of Italy. But no one will ever say of Robert St. John that he left anything on the table, will they?
No, they will not. Absolutely not. He gives it all. And, Robert has a quote, and he says, he was just, analyzing his life one day, and he was like, I, feed people filet mignon in my restaurants, let's say, to put my kids through college. But I want to be remembered as the guy that fed people canned tuna. And that's truly who Robert is. He wants to be remembered as the guy who fed people canned tuna when it mattered. And I think that's what all of us want to be. And so, we are in a moment of great stress for so many people in our state with so much uncertainty. And we're all bracing and reading the news. And the solution is as simple as donating $15 to Extra Table to put 3 chickens on a table for families this holiday season. We can all donate $15. That the old saying of skip a coffee or skip a lunch, we can all do that. And that is a part of the solution. And it's important for, we are Mississippians. We take care of our own. And so Extra Table is for Mississippians, by Mississippians, to feed Mississippians. And something as simple as a $15 donation can make a big difference in the coming weeks and months.
So when you think about Extra Table, for people who may have missed the first segment, it's this organization that has been formed that when you raise the money and create all this buying power to go out and buy this food that then is delivered to these food pantries across the state of Mississippi, they're able to use 100%. When Martha talks about the $15, 100% of the $15 is going to go to buying food. So Martha's salary and any other assistance she gets is paid by another fund. So it's kind of the perfect scenario. I remember when I was involved in United Way, people were always interested to know how much money goes to pay administration or any nonprofit. That's just kind of part of the gig. You got to run it. But the fact that he had the wisdom to set up an organization that would be that the managing of it would be funded by some other fund, and that the money you give to this organization, Extra Table, goes directly to the people who need it, that goes directly to the hungry. That was masterful, wasn't it?
Yes, it is. And it makes, that's important to me. And, you hear it on the news from time to time on these national charities that, the directors making, millions of dollars, and they're, wasting money here and there. And, that's what we're dealing with currently in our country. And at Extra Table, we have 4 employees, and that's it. And those 4 employees are supported by some food brokers that, don't get a salary, and a whole bunch of volunteers. And that's how we make the magic happen, is by working together. And so we keep very low overhead, very low administrative costs. We work very hard to get everything that we do at our events donated, so that just about every penny at an event goes to the bottom line, to feeding people. And that's important when I just make an annual gift or sign up to be a monthly donor. I want to know where my money is going and who it's impacting. And so Ricky, another thing Robert did when he created Extra Table that I think is really cool too. I love my home state, and I love to support Mississippi, but I'm from Clarksdale, and I grew up serving in the care station in Clarksdale. And so when I go to give, I might want to ensure that my gift supports the care station or supports the Delta where I grew up. And with Extra Table, anytime you make a donation on our website or you send in a check, you can just note in the notes line that you want it to support that region of the state or that specific food pantry. So you're not just feeding hungry Mississippians, you're feeding your actual hungry neighbors.
So someone wants to give the $15 that you mentioned. Tell them how to do it.
You can go to extratable.org and just click donate. You can text Feed MS, so Feed Mississippi, Feed MS, to 44321. So 44321 is the number that you text Feed MS to. But it's always easy to head over to extratable.org and click that donate button in the top right corner.
And the reason we're having this conversation is because the government shutdown is going to put the SNAP program in peril. And one of the points that Martha made was that before the government shut down, they were already getting more requests from the food pantries for more food. So there was already a bit of pressure on the system. And then you add to this, if this continues like it may, and as Rhino and I discussed earlier, I mean, we may break records, unfortunately, with this government shutdown. So a lot of people could potentially be impacted by it. And so what's going to happen is this nonprofit that is Extra Table will do everything in their power to buy as much food as possible to be able to deliver the food to the food pantries across this state that are going to undoubtedly have some pressure on them. We've got about 2 minutes left, Martha. Why don't you make a final pitch about all this?
I think you just hit it, Ricky. The important thing to remember is that Extra Table is non-government subsidized. We receive 0 federal funds. So it's 4 ladies, a great amount of donors, and some wonderful volunteers that make it happen. We spend $95,000 every single month on food. And so in this crisis that we're in, we want to ship more food. We want to spend more than $95,000. We would love to double that $95,000 in the month of November and December. And our goal is always to grow and ship more. So we're currently focused on raising more funds immediately so that we can fill this gap, the gap that Extra Table was formed to fill and exist and remains mission-focused to feed. For every dollar that you donate to Extra Table, we can feed 3 to 4 quality nutritious meals. And so we're fighting hunger and obesity right here in our home state.
You know, I talk about this a lot. One of the beautiful things about Mississippi, we learn it during disasters. We learn it during times of challenge. That what is in the heart and soul of Mississippians is something when people come in from the outside and see it for themselves, they're blown away by it. It's not the Mississippi they expected to see. They expected to see a Mississippi that is divided, but that's not what they see. I mean, when we have challenging moments in this state, we come together, don't we, Martha?
We do. We absolutely come together. It's so. We posted on social yesterday a video that we threw together real quick to respond to what's going on. And every day we're going to be posting more information. And I think that's the most heartwarming thing. I walked in the door to work yesterday with great panic in my heart. You know, how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? And the phone immediately started ringing. Like, how can we help? What do we need to do to help? Have you seen this?
That's a reminder that when the going gets tough, we come out and help each other. Martha Allen, Executive Director for Extra Table, thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Have a great day.
This has been, as I said, Ricky Mathews from the Element Wealth Studio. Use the C Spire text line. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. We'll see you after this.